What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're checking out the Huawei P10. And this phone was announced back at MWC 2017, and it's an iterative move for Huawei this year. But what exactly makes this phone something that you'd care to have on your radar? Well, there are a few things here that really matter: camera quality, battery life, and the overall experience. And as far as the design goes, it's pretty sleek, yet basic. It's pretty similar to the P9 in most ways, aside from having more rounded edges and a couple of change-ups in the hardware department. More noticeably, the fingerprint sensor has been moved from the back to the front. And I'm not the biggest fan of this decision, but at least it's still just as quick to respond. Now, the whole thing here has a bit of an iPhone-esque style to it though, which I'm not complaining about, but it's definitely impossible to unsee. At least it's slim though, at just 7mm thick, which is what you'd expect from this series of smartphone, but you do also have things like USB-C and even a headphone jack. So around the front side, the P10 packs a 5.1-inch IPS display with a 1080p resolution, which is nothing impressive against today's standards by any means, but it's still a great looking screen nonetheless. Behind those pixels though, you'll find the Kirin 960 processor, 64GB of storage, and 4GB of RAM in my model, though the 128GB version features 6GB of RAM. Now, without nitpicking, this is pretty much a textbook flagship smartphone in the specs department. Though as for performance, there's really not much to worry about here. I mean, at least in the couple of weeks this phone has been in use, apps are snappy, the phone powers through whatever you're doing, and only time will tell if it'll slow down after a while, but in my opinion, Huawei tends to have a good track record in keeping up the performance over time. Regardless of how great the performance is though, I just can't get over my hate for Huawei's Android skin. I appreciate the quirky little features and cleanliness, but can someone please just convince them to go back to the drawing board and create something a little more original? Thanks. One cool software/hardware feature here lies in the fingerprint sensor. Sure, the software provides on-screen navigation buttons, but that sensor below the display has some tricks up its sleeve. It's just a matter of whether or not you care. When enabled, there are gestures that will allow you to perform specific actions, like if you tap on the fingerprint scanner, you can go back, hold it to go home, swipe left or right for recent apps, and you can even use it to summon Google Assistant. But overall, these aren't really notable or anything that I'd recommend buying this phone for, just kind of some quirky little tricks. So the P lineup is known for its cameras without a doubt, and the P10 is no exception here. The front side sports an impressive 8-megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture, which is awesome for low light selfies, and on the back side you'll find a dual Leica setup like its predecessor, but here we have one camera featuring a 12-megapixel sensor with an f2.2 aperture, and that is supported by a secondary 20-megapixel monochrome sensor, which grabs all the depth and detail information and combines it with the color shot to make an amazing photo. But let's just put it this way, the P10's camera is straight up fire, but I will leave a full gallery linked below if you want to check it all out for yourself. Next up, and finally, is arguably one of the most important factors in a smartphone, and that's going to be battery life. And luckily, the P10's 3200 mAh battery delivers some goodness here. So in my experience, I've seen up to 4.5 to 5.5 hours of screen on time, with the former being on super heavy use days with high screen brightness. And like I said, everything performs like a breeze, and all throughout the day, I was able to make it no problem. But here's the deal though, without getting into too many details, this is a pretty awesome smartphone. I mean, unfortunately, it's not available in the US at the moment, but everyone else should think of this as a much better Mate 9 with a much more manageable shell. But in reality, there's nothing extremely special happening here. It's just Huawei doing something good. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's nothing that you need to run out and buy. And I would just kind of hold this on the back burner and stay tuned for the next and hopefully even more iterative release from Huawei in this department. And maybe they'll do something about that stupid software skin by then. But I don't know. Let me know what you think about the P10 in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe for more smartphone reviews like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.